So one big question I always get, well, payment orchestration and omni-channel is going to save my life. Well, yes and no, because there is a beautiful balance that you need to strike between understanding different payment providers. What do they need? How are they connecting to your CRM system? What are the reports that they are sending so your accountant is not there days after days reconciling things from one screen to another? Also, what are the fees? What are the risks with that? But also, considering that if you're an international e-commerce company, how are you collecting money from different areas of the world? These are all different regulations. These are all different risks. Somehow your money here is safe, but in another country, there is no bank guarantee. So your money can disappear, and what are you going to do with that, right? So payment orchestration and omni-channel software is the bare minimum basis that you need to implement when we are talking about payment and banking strategy. It is not replacing the strategy, but it can be a very, very useful tool when you think about where the money is coming from and how is that money hitting your headquarters. We had a client who was improving really, really quick. They were killing it in the UK, so they came to Europe. They were having hundreds of clicks on a daily basis, and they wanted to go to Asia. But the problem was that in Asia, people like to pay a bit differently than in Europe. In the UK and in Europe, usually people are going online using their credit cards or even open banking lately. But when he went to Asia, he realized that every country has different rules and regulations. First of all, if he's selling it in China, it's not the same than he's selling in Japan or selling in Nepal or selling in India. So every country has their own payment methods that they prefer, which triggers different taxes, different fees, different risks, and different integrations. So poor little accountant needed to make all the decisions of how are we going to reconcile things, how are we picking the right payment method, and if one payment provider just pulls the plug on us, what are we going to do? What is the backup for every target area in case the major payment provider is calling the shots? Now, the other problem with this is that a payment provider wants you to process as much as possible with them, because once they onboarded you, the benefit is that you're not processing 10 euros, you're processing tens of millions. Don't worry, we are safe enough, we are cheap enough, we are giving you even discounts to give us more volume. But then you need to decide more volume, but more risk. What happens if that main payment provider goes down? How am I going to diversify my traffic? How am I going to send my volume to another payment provider, not to lose the volume discount with the first one? So payment orchestration, routing, multi-channel, it's absolutely important when you're going abroad, but you still need to have someone who sees the big picture and makes the relevant decision of how to apply those tools and what are the best cases for your specific activity.